A man set himself on fire because the governments are not doing enough about climate change.
And we are actively potentially going backwards, depending on what this Supreme Court ruling says.
What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for being with us today. This is the Deviance Welcome Podcast brought to you by Volatile Patience. I am John, and with me, as always, my co-host, Cell. Say hi to the people, Cell.
Hi, the people.
Fantastic. Cell sounds like such a sad panda right now. You should see this guy's eyes are half closed. He's going to be falling asleep. But today is April in Review, where we go through a bunch of topics that we didn't get a chance to dwell on throughout the month.
Right.
So let's dive right in.
That's what we do.
Friend of the show,
month.
Governor DeSantis down in Florida, is arguing with a cartoon mouse and losing, from what I understand.
Okay.
Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I mean, like, this has been an ongoing story for a minute now, where the don't say gay thing came along, and like Disney was all like, okay, we won't say gay, and then the employees were like, no, you're gonna fucking say gay, and then Disney was like, oh, okay, we'll say gay.
We're gonna say gay,
and then DeSantis was like, hey, what the fuck do you think you're doing going to say gay? So like, you know, there's been some time for this story to get into the zeitgeist, but this is the new event in terms of DeSantis trying to slap Disney around for being willing to say gay.
Right.
Which is
it's the new bitchings.
This is the stupidest fucking thing.
The best part about this for me
ever. Ever.
The best part about this for me is that it's the new hot thing for conservatives to. It's the conservative
folks.
stabby points.
We're doing just LGBT everything and being conservative hate mongers on this front.
Right. Well, now everybody at Disney is a pedophile. People who support Disney are pedophiles.
Right. And of course they're grooming children.
Of course they're grooming children. That's all that. Oh, that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is like. A lot.
And then in 20 years, they're not going. Or in 20 years, if the planet and humanity and society that functions the way it does now still exists, in 20 years, they're going to be saying we aren't homophobic. We just
right.
The way that they do around. We're not racist, but. You know what I mean? Like that whole bit. That's like, this is what's going to precede that, just the way racism preceded how they talk about race now. You know what I mean? Where they pretend they're not racist, but.
Well, and it's the same thing. It's always the same thing. In my arguments on Facebook with the conservative bigots that want to say they're not bigots, is it bigotry to stand up against pedophiles? No, it's bigotry to assume that anybody who's LGBTQ is a pedophile.
Right.
That's where your bigotry starts.
That's right.
That's where that is.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right there.
Oh, okay, pedophile. Like, all right. Because I put you in your place and you have nothing else to say.
Yeah. No.
I'm a pedophile now. And you are the right. Well,
see,
and my thing about it is we are right back to say what you mean or shut the fuck up. Because you're coming up with every other reason, every possibly politically correct reason to complain about this issue, except for and when you really just mean, I hate these people.
Sure.
And I don't want them to be able to live freely.
The problem is that they absorbed a tactic that came from like, I don't know, Tumblr or something. You know what I mean? Like this was something that people did, fucking 15 years ago on the internet, in obscure places where they would just do that, and now like that was the tactic that was used by a certain group of people back then, and now like their opposition or tangentially opposition are now using the same tactic.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is where we're at. And the people who were complaining about that tactic 15 years ago because it was intellectually dishonest, here's where we're at.
Right.
Like that's all I've got to say on that aspect of this story.
Right. And you have all the conservatives that are doing all this complaining, and there was one of them that I talked to that said, "Oh, DeSantis is just standing up for what's right against Disney." And I'm like, he's been like, he did not just end this this relationship was not started and ended in the last week. Okay, he's been getting money and well, you know, if Disney is doing something wrong, DeSantis then in that timeline would have been looking away from a lot of stuff, and just to this point, all of a sudden is like, here's the thing. It's like,
well, here's the other thing. As far as quote unquote doing the right thing, assuming that teaching children that gay people exist in the world is a bad thing, is bigotry.
That's
right?
bigotry.
Like that's like you are saying, we want to pretend that this doesn't exist, to the point where we are trying to create legislation to shield it, to shield children from the existence of it.
Yeah,
and that's the right thing.
The whole point to this "Don't Say Gay" bill is to limit teachers K through 3,
right?
From teaching their kids to be gay. Now, one of the conservatives gave me a TikTok video as a citation, to which I responded, "I can't believe you're providing me a TikTok video as a source." But it
was it Libs of TikTok?
I don't remember. It was a teacher who had post-COVID had been like saying the Pledge of Allegiance with her kids, and she said initially, "You can stand and say the pledge. You cannot. It's your choice." Cool.
Which is,
right?
The law.
Right.
Right.
And
that's
then
like the legal situation.
Then she had taken down the American flag post-COVID. We're not post-COVID, but
right.
Post-lockdown.
Sure.
Because it made her feel uncomfortable. Totally within her rights. And then the kids, some of them were like, "We're not saluting any flag. This is kind of weird." And so she's like, "Well, we kind of have, we do have another flag." And she happens to have the LGBTQ flag. And she's like, "You can salute that one if you want." And we are now, and this woman is now, where I think she handled a difficult situation in a relatively mature way. Not a relatively. She did it in a mature way.
She did it in the way best that she could, but holy fuck the optics on that one.
Well,
in terms of what they're going to turn it into.
But
already knowing what they're going to turn it into. I'm sorry. It's just
like, and you're exactly right. It's what they've turned it into. What they've turned it into is, and I quote, "If she's anti-American, she shouldn't be teaching our kids." There was also, she took down an option without providing another appropriate option. And I'm like, this is such a stretch. I asked the guy, I'm straight up, "So you're telling me you are angry because you cannot dictate what a free citizen who happens to be a teacher does with her classroom? Right. You're mad about this."
Right.
And of course you get no response. "Oh, well, have a good night. I don't have time to explain it to you." Yeah, because you don't have an explanation. Because you don't know how to say you're a bigot.
Right. Well, how about this? How about pledging allegiance to a piece of cloth and like making children do this with the whole peer pressure thing around that?
Right.
That is the same kind of fucking brainwashing programming type shit that you're so afraid of in the first place.
That's right.
That is what you were raised on. You were brainwashed with the same shit. And you're now trying to brainwash your children with it,
while at the same time telling yourself you're not going to be brainwashed. You're going to stick to the plan.
Right.
But you're not going to be brainwashed.
Right.
You're going to stick to the plan and not be brainwashed. Okay.
That ship has sailed.
Just to end this, the last thing I heard was that Disney had publicly come out and said, "Okay, well, it's written in the 55-year-old agreement." Basically, the agreement made between Disney and Florida back in 1967 said that the state would not limit or alter the rights of the district until all bonds are paid off.
Okay.
That leaves about $1 billion in debt that under the agreement would have to be passed off to the taxpayers in neighboring counties. So now DeSantis's issue with the cartoon mouse is going to be rolled onto the citizens that voted him in. I wonder if they're going to be happy about this. Do we call this a win?
Wait, the bonds have to be paid to the taxpayers?
No.
Oh.
The taxpayers have to cover that bill.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
They're getting a giant tax hike because DeSantis picked a fight with a company
and didn't do his homework
didn't want
first.
him to be a bigot. Right. He was more concerned about the optics.
With a company that did their homework and covered their asses 50 years ago.
Yep. Right. Exactly.
Wow. What a play.
Right. Swing and a miss on that one.
And holy shit that, like, with that kind of influence that Florida over the course of these 55 years would allow Disney to get that level of influence where they can basically go, no. You don't even have to be a bought politician. We've already bought the people.
Exactly. How about that?
We literally bought the state.
Right.
Because at this point, the taxpayers will do what we want to do because they don't want to have to foot the bill for if you try to fucking slap us down. That is fucking like peak capitalism right there.
Right there.
That is it.
We own you.
Disney owns Florida.
Right.
Period.
Yep.
At this stage.
And if DeSantis wants to keep it up, there are plenty of other states that have already state officials that have offered Disney a new home. It wouldn't take. What if they just packed it all up like a fucking on tour buses? And shit.
But they're gonna get a deal like that too wherever they move to. You know what I mean? Like at that stage, like wherever Disney goes, they own that place.
Right. Well,
like to at this stage be offering your state as the place that Disney can go to is basically like, we are willing to sell out our people to you.
Maybe you should just, DeSantis, if you're listening.
Holy fuck.
Obviously you're not, but Governor DeSantis, if you're listening, maybe you should just let people say gay. Okay? This might be a battle you're not going to win.
I'm
just going to call that now.
Thank God Disney's on the right side of this one, but holy shit, that level of fucking power should scare you.
Should scare you.
Thank God they're on the right side of it this
time.
This time.
I'm sure we'll get back to it.
And the only thing, and just something to keep in mind, the only thing that allowed them or that put them in this place was that their employees flexed and walked out en masse.
Make sure you pay attention to that part.
That was where the power lied, on this being on the right side of things.
If you take nothing else from this, take that.
Right.
Because it's important to remember.
The most important thing about this. The end.
So, Governor DeSantis also banned math books this month. Do you know why? Do you know why?
Yeah. Because it has fractions, so now people can actually understand what the 3/5 clause was about.
We reportedly banned 50 math books because they contained critical race theory, common core teaching concepts, because, oh dear, how dare you teach them to reinforce mental math?
Right.
And
so scary.
Other materials he deemed to be inappropriate for children, although we haven't seen any examples of that. So, math books contain critical race theory. But yeah, you're exactly right. Like, I wonder, the only logical thing I can come to is that people will understand the 3/5 law.
Right. Because, like, what else could possibly be in a math book, unless it's like they're using racialized statistics when they're talking about statistics and analyzing statistics. That could be that's the only thing that I can possibly imagine. And on that front, like, are the statistics wrong?
Right.
Are the statistics wrong?
Yeah.
So are you trying to now say that you literally do not want your children to know about true statistics when doing statistics?
And that's if that's the case.
That's right. But that's what I'm saying though. Like, that's the only thing,
logical thing.
It's the most logical thing in terms of what would be in that is critical race theory that would be in a fucking math book. And like, if they're true, and I don't see any reason to think that they wouldn't be. Like,
this is
why would
also
they use-
highly speculative.
Oh, so speculative.
Let's be clear on that.
So speculative. But like,
we are coming
but
up
like-
with the only logical thing we can think of,
right, in
for
terms
what
of like
critical race theory could
could
be
even
represented in a
be.
math book.
Right. So, but because it is dealing with race and doesn't paint white America in a positive light in terms of racial stuff, yeah, that sounds like trying to deny reality in the same way that Don't Say Gay is trying to pretend that gay people don't exist, but they're not racist.
And to this point, at least as far as I saw, there's been no specific evidence put forth.
Yeah, of course.
Which is interesting because it was last month he created legislation for curriculum transparency, right? With regards to textbooks. So if banned books are required to be submitted and released along with why they were banned. And now we're not getting any answers.
Okay.
But
I was just thinking, what if it doesn't have anything to do with critical race theory at all? That was just the one that they thought they could sell. Whereas, like, the thing that's actually the problem is that it disagrees with the Bible on the value of pi, which is a deep cut, like, Bible debunking thing from like 2008, New Atheism on YouTube.
Okay. Well, you know, there was an interesting piece of knowledge that I found. It was an opinion piece, so I'm not sure exactly how far this goes, but this article that I found said that there were some individuals that happened to financially benefit from this banning of books. Including Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia, a Republican lawmaker who pushed anti-critical race theory agenda. So the only textbooks that DeSantis's administration approved for K through 5 were from a company called Accelerate Learning.
Okay.
And
that this governor owns.
Yeah.
Stock in.
The company
makes up like
he was acquired by the
23% of his
Carlyle
portfolio.
Group. It was acquired by the Carlyle Group, a private equity company which Youngkin was the CEO of at time of acquisition. So he's not there now. But I'm sure he's still got bought. I'm sure he's still got stock.
Oh, he's definitely still got stock.
Yeah. He's definitely still got that. So
sure.
This is just one of the possibilities we could say.
Yeah.
And you're right. Then maybe critical race theory was the one that they thought they could get away with the easiest and nobody would ask any questions.
And it has absolutely nothing to do with anything except money.
we were already, convinced that critical race theory was happening in schools, K through 12.
Sure. When probably
it
not.
wasn't. All right. So you would think all he has to do, it's like the buzz, it's the buzzword.
Yeah.
Right. Critical race theory
CRT.
Immediately just has the horde doing its thing.
Right.
And I don't have to worry about it
The totally
anymore.
not racist horde.
Right. The totally not racist bigots. All of them. And they just jump on it.
Right.
Mr. DeSantis is continuing to be a friend of the program because he just always gives us stuff to talk about.
He's just going like hard fash on this shit.
Yep.
Whew.
But not fash. We're not sheep. We don't do fascism.
I mean, the liberals are going hard fash too at this point, like literally funding fascists. So, whatever.
Wait, Ukraine is fascist?
Well, maybe not all of Ukraine, but like their biggest military bloc that is like officially part of the
how about that
the structure.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Didn't we just send more money over there too?
Yeah, $33 billion.
I wonder if we could have used that for something more useful.
Which incidentally, like is 3/4 of what Elon Musk paid for like Twitter.
$44 billion.
At $44 billion, and that $44 billion allegedly could feed the whole world for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's the rumor. So like a year and a half for the full world to be fed is what we just spent on military supplies for Ukraine.
How about that?
Cool. That's awesome.
That is very awesome. We are funding wars instead of food for people.
Yeah.
We're funding people dying.
Education or healthcare or climate change or, like the list of shit that this could go for, when like really the only thing that has this whole thing going is like Ukraine wanted to join NATO and NATO was like, yeah, we'll think about it. And Russia was like, no, really, the one thing that I give a fuck about is Ukraine doesn't join NATO.
Right.
So we are I'm sorry, but we're doing all of this, like we are ruining the world and like allocating funds away from like useful shit because we wanted to show Russia we have a bigger dick.
Cool.
That's what we're down to.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the weapons manufacturers wanted to make some more money too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But
the oil companies need more gas for the military.
Well, they need to. Well, they'll sell more gas to the military, and also now that the Russian supply is now universally banned, except for all the places where it isn't. But you know what I mean. That is now expands their markets and cuts supply.
Yep.
So that they can now jack up the prices.
Yep.
Yay!
How about that?
Awesome. Things are going great, guys.
Yep. Speaking of the climate change issue, did you hear that a man set himself on fire in front of the Supreme Court this month?
That was like an old school fucking like Buddhist priest method of fucking protest.
I thought that was a Buddhist priest. I didn't actually run it down, but I thought it was.
Yeah,
I do remember it.
It was part of our propagandizing as kids when the whole China invaded Tibet thing was part of the propaganda circuit because China bad all the time, always.
Not the first time this has happened in the world.
Yeah.
But there was
hardcore,
a man
though.
who
that's fucking metal.
he set himself on fire in front of the Supreme Court. It was as the Supreme Court was set to rule on what could be one of the most consequential cases for the climate crisis, as well as clean air in decades.
Whew.
Yeah, state attorney general and coal companies are asking the highest court to strip the EPA of its authority to regulate planet-warming gas emissions from power plants. We need more money. That's what it sounds like to me. Remember in Don't Look Up?
Fucking die, dude.
Remember in Don't Look Up where they were sending what's his fucking face up to blow the thing out of the space.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the billionaire came in and was like, "All right, get over here," to the president.
Mm-hmm.
And then she came back and turned the rocket around.
Yeah.
Right? We're supposed to not be doing this.
We're going to fucking die, dude.
We're going to die.
We're going to fucking die.
A man set himself
I know we were going to die, but like, holy fuck, we're going to die.
I really feel like I should have heard about this without having to dig. So that's why I wanted to touch on it real quick and just make sure people know. A man set himself on fire in front of the Supreme Court because we aren't doing enough and actually taking climate change seriously. Still,
we're going backwards.
Right. Or
we are potentially going backwards.
Yep, that's where we're going. So I wanted to make sure. Make sure if you are out there.
A man set himself on fire so you would hear this, people. Say it again, John.
A man set himself on fire because the governments are not doing enough about climate change.
And we are actively potentially going backwards, depending on what this Supreme Court ruling says.
A man set himself on fire. Please tell your friends. If you listen to this, tell your friends and tell their friends to look it up.
Yeah.
Just to look it up. It's a short read. It really is, because they're not saying a whole lot about it. But look it up. Look it up. So Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are going at it again in court.
Dude, I know.
Been going at it.
I know because my partner is obsessed with it.
I know, because she's friends with me on Facebook and I see everything she posts.
Obsessed with it.
My first initial thoughts are, this is a marriage. This is largely personal business. And like, because they're celebrities, it's in the limelight and people want to make it, a social justice cause. And like, I get all that, but at the root of this, we don't need to see this. This is somebody's private life that's being broadcast for the world to see.
Sure.
And it's the same kind of thing that you kind of called me out on with the Urban Meyer thing not too long ago. the coach that, you know, had his finger in a teenager's ass.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
ball.
yeah.
Right. That's between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Like, it's entertaining,
Well,
right? And people are picking sides. It does kind of bring to light that spousal abuse can be from both sides.
Right, which
So
is
I
important.
like that. It is important.
And also, like, careers are on the line on this one, so I can
That's
see
true.
why both parties would want to consent to being a sideshow.
Right?
You know what I mean? Because,
Court
like,
of public opinion.
at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter what the outcome of the trial is. What matters is what the court of public opinion is.
Right.
On the outcome of the trial.
Absolutely. As
That's
Disney.
the only thing that matters. Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if Disney
Who
cares.
let Johnny Depp go?
Right. Well, right.
Because of this initially.
Right. Exactly. But I, you know, over the course of the trial, I heard shit like Johnny saying that he would not go back to Disney.
For what, 300 million and
300
100 alpacas?
million.
Or something
That was
like
exactly. That was it. That was it. But
Oh, that's
so
good
so
stuff.
like but still, like, I'm sure there are people that would love to cast Johnny Depp in anything.
What's Tim Burton doing?
Right.
I haven't seen anything from him in a
Right,
little while.
right.
Johnny
Tim
Depp's
Burton
in
has
everything
been
he does.
shut down because Johnny Depp is
Right.
a toxic asset
Johnny
right
Depp-
now.
right.
So like if you want to get, you know, if you want to launder Johnny Depp so that you can cast Johnny Depp again safely, which is fucking absurd because, like, we've already heard forever ago, before the trial even became a thing, that, like, the accusations were sent out from Amber Heard, and then, you know, Johnny Depp turned around and said, no, but I have, like, physical video, audio evidence that shows that it's not exactly this.
I got proof.
Right. He had evidence, right? He didn't have a moving bruise.
Right. Right.
So, like, you know, anybody who has bothered to look into this before has probably already gotten a certain amount of information that's going to steer you towards, it's definitely a toxic relationship. Neither side is innocent, but there was definitely, in my opinion, since I'm about to give you my hot take, which is not hot at all, my lukewarm take, there was clearly a provocateur on this one.
Right. My favorite part of the trial proceedings so far that your significant other has posted, because she's the reason I know anything about this at all.
Sure.
Was the fact that Amber Heard's lawyer objected to a question he asked. That
Wait, he objected to a question that he himself asked?
Yes, he asked a witness a question. Have your girl show it to you. He
Oh my God.
asked a witness a question, and then mid-answer was objection, and the judge was like, "You asked the question." Like, oh my God. And, like, there's pictures and video of Johnny Depp just laughing his ass
Oh my
off
God.
through most of the. Man,
Look,
the court of public opinion has already seemed to make its choice.
Yeah, just
might
because,
as well just stop it.
because Amber Heard's lawyer is fucking horrible.
Lawyers.
Lawyers, but the dude one is the one that I've heard most of the clips of in passing, and that guy is a fucking moron.
Absolutely.
Holy shit. This guy, how did he pass the bar?
I don't know.
That boggles my mind because, like, but my favorite part, and I'll just leave it at this one sentence. And those who know, you know, if you know, you know. I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time? Yep, you don't know.
I don't know. Okay. Sure. I'll leave it in there for the people that know.
Yep. If you know, you know.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. This has been Deviance Welcome. You can check out more episodes and get access to the latest everything on the website, volatilepatience.com. There you can sign up for the mailing list and tell us what kind of topics you'd like to hear. Check out the sock meds if that's your thing, facebook.com/volatilepatiencemusic.
On Twitter at VOLATYLPATIENCE, spelled weird because Twitter did not give us enough characters.
Thank you, Twitter. And on Instagram at volatile_patience because Instagram did give us enough characters.
Thank you, Instagram.
He's on his game this week, even though he's tired. You can check out the YouTube channel at Deviance Welcome or the Volatile Patience specific YouTube channel at Volatile Patience. Check out the Deviance Welcome Facebook group where you can continue the discussion with us. Remember to give us a review on Apple. And April was fun, as always. I'm sure we'll be back to bitching next month for May in review.
We're gonna be back to bitching next week because something awful is gonna happen this
Something
week.
awful's always going to happen. With that, we'll see you next week. Say bye to the people, Sal.
Bye, the people.
The show must go